What's up, guys? It's your boy Just Manus here with another video deck profile. This time is going to be Vampire deck profile. Keep in mind there is no Zombie World engine in this deck, so it's going to be mostly Vampire stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, let's get this started. So, for the first cards, we're going to be running 3 Vampire Retainers. This is one of the cards that you need in this deck, obviously. It makes it run. Essentially with this guy, if this guy is special summon, you pay 500 life points and you can add any spell or trapped vampire card. Now, once you get your card, again, hard once per turn, so you can't do it again in the same turn. And the other effect is you can special summon him from the grave by sending a vampire card from the hand or field to the graveyard, and then you special summon him. Keep in mind though, once you do that effect, he will be banished when he leaves the field. Alright? So 3 Vampire Retainers. 3 copies of Vampire Familiar. So same thing with like Vampire Retainer. Special summon it, pay 500, but you add a monster instead of the spell or trap. So you add a vampire monster from deck to hand. And again, same thing, if he's special summoned from the grave by his effect, he gets banished if he's sent to the graveyard. Vampire Scarlet Scourge. Sorry if my pronunciation is bad, but I think that's how you say it. I run only 2 of him. This guy, if he's normal special summon, you can pay 1000 life points to special summon a vampire card, except for him, from the graveyard to the field. But that card cannot attack for the rest of this turn. Also, if this guy destroys a monster by battle at the end of the battle phase, you can special summon that monster from the graveyard to your field. So, he's good, you know. I run 2 because 3 was cloggy. Next card is Vampire Fellain. So she's an out during the battle phase. So, and she's a good generic zombie card too. So that's why this card is so great. What she does is pretty much when a monster declares an attack, you can special summon her to your field, and when they're attacking a zombie type monster, you can pay in multiples of 100 up to 3000 only during the damage calculation. So if somebody's attacking let's say your Vampire Retainer, she's on the field, you pay 2000 per se, your retainer will gain that amount, you lose 2000 life points obviously, but it's good in terms of defending yourself when it comes during the battle phase. So yeah, good at 2. I didn't see need for 1 more. Then we have the Vampire Grace. So Vampire Grace, I only run 1 of because more than 1 is cloggy. She essentially, when she's in the field, you can once per turn declare a card type spell, trap, or monster, and your opponent must send that card from their deck to their graveyard. Runs well with Vampire Kingdom, so that's why I do run Vampire Kingdom in this deck, so I run her at 1. The other effect too is when a level 5 or higher zombie type monster is special summoned to your side of the field by the effect of a zombie type monster while this card is in the graveyard, you can pay 2000 life points as special summoner. So, you know, if I go with Mizuki and then Mizuki I special summon, let's say a level 5, you know, Vampire Duke or Shadow or Scarlet, I pay 2000 with her and she special summons herself. And that effect where you get to call the card type, it's not a hard once per turn. So if you play her effect, and then, you know, somehow manage to bring her back the same turn, you can do the same effect again and dump another card from the opponent's deck. But only 1. Next we have Shadow Vampire. Shadow Vampire is probably the one of the cards that makes this deck run, at least in my opinion. Essentially, when this card is normal summon, you can special summon 1 dark vampire monster from your hand or deck, except for him, to the field. But that monster will be the only one that can attack for the rest of this turn. I don't like that clause. It kind of sucks. And the other one, you know, that's just you know, slap in the face, was this card can be used as XE material for an XE summon, except for the XE summon of a dark monster. So, you know, that pretty much kills all other rank 5, you know, light and, you know, whatever other that's not dark. You know, kind of dumb, but hey, you know, I guess it needed to be relegated to that. But good card, only 1 of. Next one is Vampire Duke. Usually when I go into Shadow Vampire, I go for this guy. I make a rank 5 immediately. Also, when he's special summoned, you get to declare a card type. That's a hard once per turn, unlike Grace. And lastly, If this guy is normal summon, you can special summon Dark Vampire Monster from the grave to the field. So, good card, only one of. Then my last vampire card, the Sauce Vampire Baby. I will explain the combo later, but this guy, he comes in handy. I like it. Not a lot of players. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen a vampire deck profile, that doesn't run OG. If it's an OG deck, they're probably running this. But if it's not, and you want to make it more competitive, I haven't seen this one in a vampire deck profile in a while. But I only run one of. I'll show you that, guys. I'll show you that later, guys. For the next cards that are not vampires, we run Shiranui Solitaire. So, obviously, this will summon Uni-Zombie, so that's the only reason why this is here. I run 2 because 3 is too much, at least in my perspective. But essentially, you tribute this zombie-type monster, or tribute one zombie-type monster, doesn't need to be him, any zombie-type monster, and then you special summon a zombie-type tuner with 0 defense from the deck. And yeah, the other effects, I don't use them, so, whatever. But yeah, this is a go-to for a Uni-Zombie. Then I run 2 Gozukis. There's just situations where this card gets me out of a hole, since he dumps any zombie-type monster from the deck to the graveyard. And the other effect is pretty sweet too. If you send to the graveyard, you can banish a zombie-type monster from the graveyard, and then special summon one zombie monster from the hand. So really good, hard ones for turns, but I run 2. Then we run the horse of the deck, the other one of the engines here, the Mizuki. I run 3. A lot of people run 2, but I like to run 3 because I'll show you that combo with the baby vampire. But 3 is good. Essentially, what he does is you banish him from the graveyard, special summon a zombie type monster. No BS, just straight up. So 3 Mizuki. Then we run 3 Uni-Zombies. I think this is a must-have for any zombie deck out there, that's going to run Synchros. But it's a really good card. You can discard a card, target a card on the field, increase its level by 1. And, if I have a Mizuki in my hand, that's when I dump it. Or if I have a vampire retainer or familiar, when I get that running, I throw those off. The second effect is target 1 card on the field, increase its level by 1. And then you send one zombie card from the deck to the grave. Now, keep in mind though, if you use that second effect where he dumps a card into the graveyard, you cannot attack for the rest of the turn except for zombie type monsters. So make sure you keep that in mind. But yeah, 3 Uni-Zombies, can't go without them. And then finally, I have Ghost Bell Haunted Mansion. This is really up to, your choice. It could be Ash Blossoms. It could be any hand trap you want, really. It's just I don't want people messing with my graveyard. I don't want people removing my stuff and things like that. So I use this to protect myself. But you can run any hand trap you want. You can run any card you want. This is replaceable, but this is what I run. 3 Ghost Bells. I don't want to get my Mizukis banished before I use them, right? Things like that. Or, Called by the Grave, right? Bam, you can negate with Called by the Grave, even though it's now limited. But, you never know. But yeah, 3 of these. Now, we're gonna go with the spell cards. So for spells, I have 2 Vampire's Desires. Now, this card, I've seen a lot of people run 1 in Vampire decks. I don't understand why. He can be an out. He's a level manipulator, which I need a lot in this deck, especially with Uni-Zombie going up, when you're discarding his effects. I essentially want him to always be at 3, so I can synchro with a level 5, usually with Shadow Vampire or Vampire Duke, some other level 5 vampire monster. But level manipulator, essentially how it works is you target a face-up monster you control, send a vampire monster from the deck to the graveyard with a different level from that monster, and if you do, the targeted monster becomes a level of the sent monster in the graveyard. Alright? Then the second effect is you can target one vampire monster in the graveyard, send 1 monster you control to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon the targeted monster. So, revival effect, level changing effect, but usually the level 1 is to dump the vampire cards that you need in the graveyard, but it's good at 2. At least in my opinion, it's been working for me at 2. Then I have Vampire's Domain. This is a really good card. A lot of people run 2 or 3. I like to run 1. I only need 1. I just need to get things started with 1 card, and that's why I run 1. Sometimes 2 is cloggy, and 3 is definitely cloggy. Essentially with this guy is once per turn, if you can pay 500 life points, and you can extra summon a vampire monster during this turn. And keep in mind, the card doesn't have to be on the field, so let's say you pay your 500 and then you use Retainer or Familiar to special summon themselves. You send it to the graveyard, but the 500 life points, extra normal summon is already there, so it's already in effect. So you don't have to be worried about, having this on the field to be on the field to do that extra normal summon. And lastly, the other effect is, I haven't really used the other effect because it's always just gone after the first turn. But each time your vampire monster inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you gain the same amount of life points. So if you swing at 2,000, your opponent takes 2,000, you gain 2,000. So pretty sweet. Then I have the last vampire spell card is a Vampire Kingdom. Actually, this is the only other vampire card. Vampire Kingdom. Again, because I run the whole, Vampire Duke and Vampire Grace. This card essentially, if a card is sent from the deck to the graveyard on your opponent's side, you can target a card on the field, then you send 1 Dark Vampire monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, destroy that target. So really good. It disrupts the opponent. And also during the damage step, zombie type monsters gain 500 attack. So hey, it's a boost that helps. Next spell cards, generic ones. Book of Life. I'm thinking of running 3. I just don't know what to get rid of yet. I'll replace the other card. But Book of Life, essentially, target a zombie type monster in your graveyard and 1 monster your opponent that's in your opponent's graveyard, and special summon the first target, and then banish the second target. 1 copy of Foolish Burial. It's Foolish Burial. Zombie decks love it. Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn's Monster Reborn. 1 for 1. Again, that's for the familiar special summon. Then, that was my last for the spells. And then, we're moving on to the traps. 2 copies of Vampire Domination. Vampire Domination, it pretty much, when a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated while you control a vampire monster, you negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Now, if that card's a monster, you gain the life points of the original attack of that monster. And it's a counter, so can't beat counter, only with counter. Lastly, the 2 copies for the main deck, Vampire Awakening. So, especially, you just special summon 1 monster from your deck, but destroy it during the entrance of its turn. Special summon 1 vampire monster. Alright, hard 1s per turn. So that was it for the main deck. We're going to go for the extra deck now. 2 copies of Vampire Sucker. If she's on the field and a zombie monster special summon for the graveyard, you draw a card. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. At least for me, I don't use the other effect too much because I don't run the Zombie World engine. The next card is Avenger Savior. Avenger Savior. I don't know if that's how you say it, but he dumps when you enter the battle step. And obviously you want to dump Bazookies, you want to dump whatever you need for the next turn. Really good. Link Arivo, in case you're stuck with a level 1 normal summon familiar, you link him off and bam, you have this guy. Magna Crusadia Abramax. Honestly, I only have this because I don't know what else to run for. I summon a lot of monsters, so I guess Appaloosa would be the the next option. Actually, Appaloosa would be the better option. I just have this. Again, he's hard to summon. I wouldn't recommend it. Anything else would be better than this card, but I had to have a Link for, and I think I just went with this guy because he just looks so cool. I mean, look at that. Super Saiyan Blue. Now, for the rank monsters, we got... Oh, here it is. Crimson Knight Vampire Bram. Again, you go with Duke, special summon him, you call a monster, rank with Shadow and Duke, and then you detach a material, and you can steal that monster from the opponent's graveyard. Alright, so 1 of. Then 1 Arc Rebellion XE Dragon. He's alright. I mean, I wanted some other rank 5 XE monster. This guy's new. He requires 3. And essentially, you detach a card from this guy, and he gains the attack of all of the monsters on the field, the original attack, combined. But no other monsters can attack for the rest of this turn. So, really good card. Then Fear, Vampire Sheridan. Rank 6. I rarely summon this guy, but if you do, Pretty much you detach a material from this card and target a card your opponent controls, send it to the graveyard. So, I wish it didn't target, but it does. And yeah. And once per turn, if a card is sent from field to your opponent's graveyard by a card effect, or a monster is destroyed by battle and sent to your opponent's graveyard, detach the material and special summon that monster in defense position. Alright. Next we have Fellain Strike Bouncer. Detach one. During either player's turn, if a monster effect, when a monster effect is activated on either side of the field, detach one material, negate the effect, and the opponent takes and inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal, she extends my place. She sends Mizuki to the grave, and that's about it. That's all she does. She just extends my place. Then for the synchros, we have Borreload, Savage, Dragon. You know what this guy does. Special summon him, equip a Link monster. He'll gain that many counters, and he can negate any card effect by removing one Borrel counter from the card. But it only negates the activation, I believe. I don't think it destroys it. Yeah, it does not destroy it. Draco, Berserker of the Tenyi. You can run any level 8. I'm thinking Void Ogre Dragon. I'm not sure yet, but for now I'm running this. Psyframe Lord Omega. Gotta recycle those Mizukis back. I wish I could run more copies. Shirenui Shugun Saga. 1. He's a beat stick. Special summon him, remove a vampire, bam, 2,000 plus, 5k beat stick. Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon. This guy is the card that makes this deck run. I will show you that combo right now, but one off. If he Synchro Summon, excavate the top 5 cards of the deck, and if you do, add 1 light or 1 dark monster. The rest are sent to the graveyard. So now you can imagine what type of shenanigans you can do with this guy, right? So let's do this really quick. Alright guys, I'm going to explain to you that Baby Yoda combo now. Baby Vampire, obviously. This is a combination you need. Unizombie, Familiar, Retainer, or a combination of Shirinui, these two, or Shirinui, 1 for 1, Foolish Burial. You get the gist of it. That's the combination you want to see, right? Again, this is for just one particular combo. There's plenty of other combos that I can do, but I'm going to show you just one because I like this one the best. It's just funny. So here we go. So that's going to be 3. Let me shuffle this really quick. You always start a duel with 5 cards, not 3, right? So let's do that. Split it in half. Draw 2. Okay, it's whatever. Alright, here we go. So, Unizombie. Discard. Retainer. Unizombie again. Dump. You dump the Mizuki. Alright. Retainer. Send this to the graveyard. Special summon. You send any vampire, but you send the retainer, right? So, pay 500. Add the vampire's domain. Did I skip it? Yeah, so right there. Added, activated, pay 500 to extra summon a vampire monster. And after that, familiar. Sending this one to the grave to summon it. Pay 500. You add the Shadow Vampire here. Bam. Okay. Shadow Vampire. Tribute summon the retainer. It gets banished. Shadow Vampire, when it's summoned, special summon a vampire monster from the deck or hand to the field. In this case, I will summon the Vampire Baby. Vampire Yoda. And this is the sauce right here. Alright? You want the sauce out here, right? So let's do a good shuffle here. Because what's going to come next is going to be nuts, y'all. Alright, so there we go. Let's hope for a good exhibition. You send your level 5 zombie and the Vampire Yoda. Special summon your level 8 Chaos Ruler. Alright? Summon him right here. Excavate the top 5 cards. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, that's not looking good. 4. And nope, it's all bad. This is horrible. My gamble didn't pay off. Alright? But let's theoretically, let's just get rid of these two, right? Again, this is a gamble, but I want to show you what happens if you really do get the cards, right? Let's just put in Mizuki and let's put a Gazuki in there, right? We have 3 Mizukis, 2 Gazukis, so the chance of you actually dumping these off are pretty high. Just the same, I was very unlucky. But, here we go. So let's say these were your dumped off, alright? Fellain, you'll add this to the hand. The rest will get sent here. Now, Kazuki effect will activate. You will banish one zombie type monster. We don't need Ghost Spell anymore, so we'll banish her. And you special summon one from the hand. Oh man, look at this, guys. I was not expecting this, but that one you had earlier, now I can special summon that. Alright? Cool, it's looking good. Synchro these two. Right? For Psylord Omega, we're gonna put him right there. And let's see what you have in here. You have 2 Mizukis, and you have these vampire monsters, alright? So we're gonna do a Mizuki. Special summon Kazuki. This is the reason why. Let's just get rid of the third copy of Mizuki. So we're gonna summon him and play his effect to dump a Mizuki to the graveyard. Bam. Alright. Okay. So now these are in your grave. We have 2 copies of Mizukis and 1 Uni Zombie in there. So before you do that though, you're gonna link. Alright? So this gets banished, this gets sent to grave. Sucker. Because you want that extra draw. This is what your hand's looking like right now, right? So Vampire Sucker's on the field. This is your grave. We're gonna banish Mizuki. Special summon Uni Zombie. Vampire Sucker effect. Draw a card. Alright. It works, I guess. Okay. Now, what you wanna do here is obviously banish the other Mizuki. And let's go for Mr. Vampire right here. Shadow Vampire. Now, this is what I like to do. The problem, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have to switch. See, this would have come in handy. See, now I know what to switch for Mech Knight. If I had that Patrol Link monster, 2 monster effects, 2 effect monsters, or I think just 2 monsters, I could have Link summoned these away, right? Summon that Link monster, and then I could have Synchro summoned Unizombie and Shadow Vampire with the Boral load to get the 2 Boral load counters. But I don't, so we're gonna go with something else, right? So we're gonna just Synchro those 2 away, and we're just gonna go for, again, yeah, we're gonna go for Draco Berserker of Tenny. And voila, this is what my field ends up looking like. Again, theoretically, because I didn't get that right. I had to put in the Mizuki and Kazuki just as an example. But this is what it kind of looks like. You have the Sniper, Recycler. You have the, this guy's, you don't want to face this guy, right? You don't want to get your cards banished, but he'll banish cards from your opponent once per turn, right? Sucker, if a zombie monster starts summoned from the grave, draw a card. This is what my hands look like. This is going to come in handy. I'm going to set it. Fellain, when a monster declares an attack, I can search summon it, and vice versa. But yeah, this is what it's looking like with the Baby Yoda combo. And yeah, this is my deck. Other people run it differently. I like it. I like gambling. No, not really. I don't like gambling. Gambling is bad. But I like taking risks. Alright? Hope you guys enjoyed my Vampire Zombie deck profile. If you like the content, please hit like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And I hope I see you guys next time on the next video deck profile. Alright? You guys take care. Peace out.